I would like you to address my skeptical mind about pain. When there's a structural problem that produces pain, that tapping can do anything for it. Please help me see it differently.
Okay.
Well, I know last night when I was working on the list, I would get in so much physical pain, I would have to tap through it just to push it out so I could see what was under it.
Exactly.
I just wanted to push the pain away long enough to look, and then I'm out.
Right.
And then do it again, look, and I'm out.
Right. Pain is emotion, guys. Pain is emotion. You know, granted, if you do fall down, it does hurt. I mean, there is a real physical sensation of pain. And the emotional level attached to the physical pain has many layers to it. For some people, they fall down, they get a bruise, and they are hurt, and the pain goes in and out just like that. And later on, say, "Oh yeah, I hurt myself. I don't know how to do that." And yet another person, the pain becomes amplified 100 times than what it really is. And it goes back to the emotional intensity. The pain is metaphoric of the emotions, beliefs, attitudes, and what we do with our pain. You know, somebody needs tooth pulled or dental work, and her pain level is really strong, but her unconscious mind is stronger than the drug. I mean, she gets 10 shots in the same spot, and it still feels the pain. So the mind is the healer. And what we have to do is address our belief system, which when you're talking about a belief system, and pain is very important to you. It probably keeps you tied to family or relationships or dynamics, whatever that is. And there's a structure addressing pain. There really is a structure, and we can do some. And if you want some pain, I know how to give it to you as well.
In neuroscience, they've proven that there's nothing in the body that actually produces pain. There's nothing that actually produces pain in the body. It's all nerves, signals being sent to the brain. And the brain's job is to interpret and then assign meaning to the pain.
Exactly. That's good. So do you have that research somewhere? I can see that. I know that to be true just by working with people, but I don't have research. Research is interesting, but you can have all the research and still have your damn problems. So I just say, how do you change it? I want to know the results. What works, what doesn't work. Logically, you can understand why and how you have problems, emotional problems. I can look at my problems a million different ways, but unless I change the cause, which is the one who holds the problem, me, if I don't change the cause, you're still going to have the problem if you understand it. So there's two different systems. There's a logical system, and then there's the unconscious workings of the mind. It's how we internalize it and how we do it.
Thanks. I can let you have some research on the insight from a guy called Dr. John Sarno, may ring a bell with somebody, that you can have pathology in the spine or wherever and not have pain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when we assume that the pathology is causing the pain, that assumption is just that, an assumption.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, some of you may know Sue LaRue, or she's on YouTube. Sue LaRue, she walks with a walker. She's had like 19 or more surgeries. She's walked with a walker for 19 years or longer. And of course, she taps on her pain. All right. She had bursitis in her shoulder for 19 years. She tapped it away. And she's tap and tap and tap. And then she goes to the doctor one day, and the doctor x-rays her shoulder and says, "How are you not in pain? I mean, you have nothing there. It's bone to bone. All right? How can you not have pain?" She said, "I just tap on it." Okay? So it is the mind, it's the meaning and the interpretation of the mind. I mean, how can one have, here it is, we're in this room. Somebody can smell something, have a severe emotional reaction, or physical reaction they would call it, and yet other people smell it and don't have that reaction. You can smell something and it takes you back to a memory when you're 7 years old, and you get nauseous and want to puke. And someone else smells it and they have no reaction whatsoever. They think about love and joy. They go to the top of the Uluru, a mountain, and have a great spiritual experience, and another one has a horrifying experience because of their internal references. You can go to church and feel God there. You can go to church and feel the devil there. And it also goes back to the interpreter. It's our inner references and what we're doing inside our mind. So we're laying it on the table right here. It's you. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you.
Robert, if I could, I'd just like to summarize Sarno's work real briefly because it's extremely powerful. So, Dr. Sarno was a professor of physical medicine at NYU. He was there for many years, and Sarno saw the worst chronic pain patients in the world. He saw, I think, this was in an academic setting. He's got research, and most of the patients that Sarno saw had chronic musculoskeletal pain from anywhere from 10 to 30 years. Everybody had already had, multiple surgeries, spinal fusions, epidural injections, years of physical therapy, and failed. And so with that group of patients that everyone else failed on, Sarno had a 70% cure rate, long-term cure rate, and an additional 15% of his patients were much improved, meaning 50 to 80% better. And so the typical model, Sarno said, if someone has back pain, typically they go to the doctor, and the doctor will do like an MRI scan, and usually that shows something like a slip disc or spinal stenosis or spinal arthritis, and the doctor says, well, it's that anatomic finding that's causing your pain, right? And then standard medicine aims to treat the slip disc, for example. What Sarno found, though, is that if you take 100 middle-aged people with no pain and you do an MRI scan on them, 2/3 of them, 65%, have a slip disc, and they're not having any pain. Or they have spinal stenosis, spinal arthritis. So Sarno started saying, it's not necessarily the slip disc or any of those things that's causing the pain, but then he asked, what is causing the pain? Because he didn't think the pain's just in these people's heads. It's not a matter of just, you're crazy and you're making it up. What Sarno found is that what is causing the pain is chronic tension and spasm of the muscles of the neck, shoulders, buttocks, back, and he says that causes tremendous pain. So he said, for example, if you have a chronically tense spastic muscle, which can go on for years or decades, the blood can't flow in as well. That causes a lack of oxygen. It causes severe pain. Or you could imagine, for example, the muscles surrounding the sciatic nerve are clamping down on that nerve, and it radiates pain down into your buttock and your leg. So point number one, the pain's very real. The higher level question was, why are people having chronically tense and spastic muscles? And what Sarno found is that, past traumas, are held in the body, and since we don't like how those feel, the muscles clamp down to hold the emotions inside so we don't think about it. Or Sarno also found that many of us grow up and in our families of origin, it's not okay to feel or express certain emotions, particularly anger or anxiety, and obviously you grow up and life's going to elicit those things, and as those emotions start to come up, so the brain causes the muscles to clamp down, to cause a pain, to take your mind off what you're angry or anxious about. So how Sarno got his amazing cure rates in an academic setting with 12,000 patients, he'd bring people in for a couple lectures. I mean, if the guy had known FasterEFT, it would have been just revolutionary, but he didn't. He was still using a Freudian model. He'd bring people in for 2 lectures. The first lecture he'd say, it's not the slip disc that's causing your pain, because a lot of people have these, and by the way, every one of Sarno's patients had x-rays that looked like the Elephant Man. Literally, he said, one guy had a forklift truck fell on him, and another guy, a 747 wheel rolled over him. They all had x-rays that looked horrible, and they should have had a, quote, good reason for their pain. So the second lecture, Sarno would say, when you have the pain, you have to ask yourself, I wonder what I'm angry or anxious about. You have to ask yourself, I wonder what I'm angry or anxious about. Again, he didn't have this type of model to clear the emotions, and he still got that kind of long-term success rate. So that's a little more in Sarno, but it's a real powerful model in an academic setting with a bunch of research.
Thank you. Very good. A healing, you can heal your body seminar set. It's actually 4 days where the lady actually came to the seminar with severe fibromyalgia. By the end of the seminar, she had no pain, no physical pain. But you will watch within the seminar how I addressed her pain. We went to memories, we went to experiences, we went to her anger, we went to her hurts, we went to the physical expressions in her body. There is a specific way to address your pain. And of course, pain, in my opinion, is just emotionally stored. It's just emotion stored in the body. Now you can heal your body, but see, here's the deal with healing your body. The one who wants to heal has to do most of the work. I can help transform it. But see, the one who wants the healing, they're going to have to take ownership. They're going to have to address their emotions and their issues in their life, because this is the reason why they have pain. They're not emotionally wise. They're not owning up to their emotions, and they're just suffering. And since their mind will record the information and use it to express itself metaphorically in the body. It's the metaphoric mind.